Did you know Lil Peep recorded an EP in October 2016? Previously unknown until its official release in 2024. Today we're diving into Hate Me, exploring the story behind the original versions and why they reveal a side of Peep few fans had ever known. Stay until the end. You won't want to miss this. And now, let's break down the story of Hate Me, chapter by chapter. "2016 was a defining year in Lil Peep's life and career. At the start of that year, he was still an underground artist, uploading music independently on SoundCloud using GarageBand and recording most of his vocals in bedrooms and small apartments. In June, he released Cry Baby.
I don't wanna lose you, I don't wanna hate you, I don't wanna do you like that. Why you gotta do me like that? Cause I got face tats and my blues black. I don't wanna go to school, I don't like that. Everybody think I'm cool, I don't like that. Codeine by the pool, I don't write raps. Spend money like a fool, I'ma make it back.
A raw and emotional mixtape that captured the attention of a growing online audience. The project was filled with vulnerability and pain, with songs that blended emo guitar riffs with trap beats, a sound that would become Peep's signature. Fans connected deeply with the lyrics, and Cry Baby began to spread far beyond the underground scene. Only a few months after Cry Baby, Peep released Hellboy in September 2016.
Club lights, we fight every night. Baby, I don't wanna do that. You're tight, jeans tight, dirty Sprite. She like, how the fuck you do that? I can't be there all the time, but you know I gotta prove that. I can't leave here anytime soon. I got something to do, yeah. Walk away as the door slams. You got blood in your poor hands. I just wanted to hell, now I'm going to hell. Walk away as the door slams.
This project was a turning point, gaining millions of plays and putting him on the radar of producers, artists, and even record labels. Tracks like OMFG and Girls showed his unique ability to mix raw emotion with catchy melodies. And suddenly, Lil Peep was no longer just another SoundCloud rapper. He was leading a new wave of emo rap. That same year, Peep moved to Los Angeles, where his momentum grew even faster. Surrounded by collaborators and an expanding fan base, he kept evolving, experimenting, and recording non-stop. It was also around this time that he signed with First Access Entertainment, a deal that pushed him to explore a more polished, mainstream sound. And in late October 2016, right in the middle of this transition, he recorded the sessions that would later become the Hate Me EP. The Hate Me EP wasn't just another collection of songs. It was created in late October 2016, shortly after Lil Peep had signed with First Access Entertainment. The label wanted to test the waters, to see if Peep could deliver something with a more polished, radio-friendly sound, without losing what made him unique. The sessions resulted in 3 tracks, including the original version of Hate Me. In an interview, producer Smoker Sack explained that the song wasn't even meant for Come Over When You're Sober Part 2. It was originally part of this 3-song EP that never came out at the time. Smoker Sack said Peep had just signed his deal. He was only 19, and they basically wanted him to step in and slay it. And he did. The idea was to push Peep's versatility, to show that he could make a pop-leaning record if he wanted. Smoke described Hate Me as a track that could easily have been a radio single, even though Peep never aimed to create mainstream music. as we can see in these photos, which many fans didn't know were taken during the Hate Me sessions. Lil Peep was recording at Lars Stalfour's studio in Los Angeles in October 2016, alongside Smoker Sack. The sessions ran from October 26th to 28th. This was also one of Peep's first projects without samples, instead featuring real guitars recorded in the studio, a clear step forward in his sound, while keeping the emotion and darkness that defined him. During those sessions, Peep recorded 3 songs: Spotlight, Lookin' For You, and Hate Me. At the time, they weren't released, but they would later become an important piece of Peep's catalog. Before any official release, the community first got a glimpse of Lookin' For You in an unexpected moment. In 2020, when one of Peep's longtime friends and early collaborators, Since When, entered a Lil Peep dedicated Discord community known as Peep Hub. There, he revealed the existence of several unreleased tracks no one had ever heard before. Among them was the highly anticipated Just In Case.
Baby girl, tell me what your name is, 'cause I've been living life so aimless. 'Cause I've been living life so aimless. Sing it with me, everybody sing it with me. Grab my gun and bring it with me, just in case I wanna die. Put it on me, love.
Which would quickly become one of the most sought-after songs after his preview. It's important to note that Just In Case is not part of the Hate Me EP. However, its story shows just how important Since When was to the community. The day he revealed those unheard songs became truly special moments for Peep fans. But hidden within those teasers was another surprise: Lookin' For You.
Man, when I know that I'm not looking in the mirror like I'm all that I got. You got me looking in the mirror like you all that I got. If I took it with you, now I'm looking back at the past. I was tripping when I trip over you. She said what she wanna ask me. Hey, I don't listen to you. I see you looking when you pass me. Hey, I wasn't looking for you. Yeah, I got
At that time, nobody in the community even knew the song by that name. It was only recognized under the working title, Already Grown, known from an old, very short, low-quality snippet.
Take a couple lines, 'cause you making me high now. I could live life all on my own. Girl, I'm only 19, but I'm already grown. All the shit I say to you, I already told to my last girl, baby, but you won't.
This snippet was posted around 2018 by the channel Everything GBC, and it shows only a glimpse of the songs and the EP's potential. At that time, Cowboys 2 was already out, and people in the comments were noticing how the track carried a similar vibe to Hate Me. Some listeners also pointed out that Spotlight and Looking For You, originally known as Already Grown, were connected to this EP. Maybe because of the production style and the classic distorted radio-like background vocals that Peep used across all 3 songs.
I don't wanna hate you. No, I wish that I could take you.
That's a detail I personally enjoy a lot. This chapter covers the controversy surrounding the official release of the EP. It begins with Marshmello's remix of Spotlight, released on January 12, 2018, just a short time after Peep's passing. It was one of the very first posthumous tracks to be officially released. Later that same year, on November 9, 2018, Hate Me appeared on Cowboys 2, in a modified, posthumous version. In July 2019, the original version of Spotlight, produced by Smoker Sack and Lars Stalfours back in 2016, leaked online. At the time, many fans doubted its authenticity, believing such a leak was unlikely to be real. Then, in January 2021, the first draft version of Hate Me, created by the EP's producers, was leaked as well. Around this time, some fans even speculated that songs like Fingers and Kiss were part of the EP, which turned out not to be true, as their vibe was completely different from the rest of the project. It wasn't until October 10th, 2023, that Looking For You and the original 2016 version of Hate Me, not the early demo often called Day One, which was likely just a rough draft, were finally leaked. For the first time, fans were able to hear the EP in its original 2016 form, exactly how Peep left it. The files, however, were low bitrate, which made listeners hope for an eventual official release in better quality. Finally, on March 8th, 2024, the EP was officially released, featuring mastered versions and new mixes by Lars Stalfors. Unfortunately, this release sparked mixed reactions. Many fans felt that the original versions, even with their lower quality, captured Peep's vision more authentically than the new mixes. The EP even came with a warning that the mixes would later be updated. But instead, the updated versions introduced new problems, unexpected cuts, clipping issues, and other technical flaws. Personally, I enjoyed the first release of Looking For You, but Hate Me had strange vocal tuning, and Spotlight suffered from noticeable clipping. It almost feels like some of the changes were rushed, which may have made things worse. Still, it's important to remember that Lars Stalfors is a talented producer with a strong history. He had already been mixing Peep's music since COWYS1, and he's worked with many other artists as well. His mastering on this EP is solid, and the new cover art was a nice touch. But the overall impression is that Hate Me EP may have been finished in a hurry. It sounds good, but it could have been so much better with a little more care. Unfortunately, since the original session files aren't available, it's very likely that the EP will remain in its current state. And that wraps up the video. This was the very first documentary-style project on this channel about one of Peep's works. It took a lot of effort to put together, and since it's my first time doing a video like this, there may have been a few mistakes along the way. Still, I hope you enjoyed it, and that you've learned a little more about this incredible EP, which I believe still holds so much potential.